Tommy Morrison was a kid born into a mix of Native American and Irish roots. Tommy grew up in Delaware County, Oklahoma, spending most of his teenage years in a small town. Tommy's father pushed him toward boxing back in the 1970s, but his mother took the biggest risk. When Tommy was just 15, she used a fake ID to enter him into a tough man contest. You had to be 18 to fight there. Tommy walked in as a boy. He walked out with only one loss out of all those tough matches. He later told the New York Times that he barely ever lost in those early days. In 1988, he finished high school and earned a football scholarship to Emporia State University. But boxing kept pulling him back. That same year, he won the Kansas City Golden Gloves regional heavyweight title. He went to the National Golden Gloves in Omaha. 2 weeks later, he headed to the Western Olympic Trials in Houston and qualified for the Nationals and earned the tournament's Outstanding Fighter Award. Again, 2 weeks later, he fought out of Republic, Missouri, at the National Olympic Trials in Concord, California. July 6, 1988. There, he met Ray Mercer. Mercer beat him with a 5-0 unanimous decision. Mercer later won Olympic gold in Seoul. Tommy and Mercer even had another fight scheduled before that, on June 16, 1988, in New York. But that match never happened, for reasons no one ever explained. By the end of his amateur run, Tommy Morrison claimed 222 fights. Most were small local matchups. His official amateur record, 202 wins, 20 losses. And the 1988 Olympic trials marked the peak of that early journey. But it shaped the fighter the world would soon come to know. Tommy Morrison stepped into the professional ring on November 10, 1988. His first fight? A first-round knockout of William Muhammad in New York City. 3 weeks later, he did it again, another first-round knockout. On June 11, 1989, he faced Richard "Ricky" Nelson. Nelson was HIV positive. Tommy knew it before the fight, but he stayed quiet. Tommy believes in privacy, said his friend and promoter Tony Holden. Nelson would later die from AIDS complications on March 21, 1990. When Tommy himself was diagnosed in 1996, they never linked it to that fight. Everyone knew the truth. He didn't get HIV from Nelson. By the end of 1989, Morrison's record was flawless. 19 wins, 0 losses, 15 knockouts. His reputation was spreading fast. Even Hollywood noticed. Actor Sylvester Stallone watched one of Tommy's fights. He liked what he saw. Stallone cast Morrison in Rocky V as Tommy, the Machine Gun. Tommy paused his boxing career for 6 months in 1990 to work on the movie. From December 8, 1989 to June 8, 1990, he didn't fight. Injuries and Hollywood kept him out of the ring. By 1991, he was back. He won 4 bouts that year. Among them were victories over James Tillis, the first man to take Mike Tyson the distance, and former WBC heavyweight champion Pinklon Thomas. The Duke was climbing fast, making a name for himself with every punch. Tommy Morrison got a shot at glory. He was set to face Ray Mercer, the undefeated WBO title holder, on a pay-per-view card on October 18, 1991. 2 rising heavyweights, both unbeaten, ready to prove themselves. The fight was supposed to happen on August 9th, but Tommy had to pull out because of an injury. When he finally stepped into the ring, he started strong. Through the first 3 rounds, Morrison outboxed a slow-moving Mercer. Every judge gave him all 3 rounds. Then, just 28 seconds into the 5th round, everything changed. Backed into the corner, Morrison faced a brutal 15-punch combination. He slumped against the ropes, clearly hurt. The referee let Mercer land more punishing shots before finally stepping in. Tommy Morrison suffered the first loss of his career, a 5th-round knockout, but he didn't stay down for long. In 1992, he came back and won 6 fights. Among them were battles with Art Tucker and Joe Hip. Hip would later become the first Native American to challenge for a world heavyweight title. The fight with Hip, on June 19, 1992, was a testament to Morrison's heart. He was battling with a broken hand and a broken jaw. Yet, in the 9th round, he rallied. He scored a knockout. Pain didn't stop him. Determination did. By 1993, Tommy Morrison was climbing fast. He had 2 wins early in the year, including a victory over 2-time world title challenger Carl "The Truth" Williams. Then came the opportunity of a lifetime, a shot at the WBO heavyweight title against the legendary George Foreman. The fight was billed as a clash of hard hitters, but neither man managed a knockdown. No one was in real danger. Morrison chose brains over brawls. He boxed from long range, hitting and moving, avoiding Foreman's power. It worked. The judges scored it clearly in Morrison's favor. Tommy Morrison was now the WBO heavyweight champion. His first title defense was supposed to be against his Rocky V co-star Mike Williams in August 1993. Williams withdrew on fight night. Tim Tomaszek, an alternate, stepped in. Tomaszek had been drinking, thinking Williams wouldn't really pull out. Despite that, he landed a combination that gave him the first round on the judges' cards. Morrison stayed calm. He dropped Tomaszek with a multi-punch combination. The fight ended in the fourth round when Tomaszek walked to the wrong corner, beaten and confused. Some rumors said the WBO rescinded the title because of Tomaszek's inexperience, but fight records show the bout remained official. Almost immediately, talks began for a big fight with WBC champion Lennox Lewis. A lucrative WBC title shot was on the line, a $16 million purse to split evenly. But Morrison chose a tune-up fight first, against the unknown Michael Bent. It was a brutal mistake. Bent dominated from the start. 3 knockdowns came 97 seconds into the first round. The fight was stopped. Bent declared the winner. Morrison lost not only his title shot against Lewis, but also the reported $7.5 million he was set to earn. He didn't give up. In 1994, Morrison won 3 fights in a row. But his last fight of the year, against Ross Purity, ended in a draw. Morrison pressed on, winning 3 more fights in 1995. Then came a showdown with former #1 contender Razor Ruddock for the minor IBC heavyweight title. Tommy Morrison stepped into the ring against Razor Ruddock with everything on the line. The fight started rough. Ruddock dropped Morrison to his knees in the very first round. But Tommy wasn't finished. In round 2, he recovered and forced a standing count, battling Ruddock on even terms for 5 intense rounds. Rounds 3 and 4 were brutal. Both fighters traded heavy blows, neither giving an inch. Ruddock took control in round 5, landing sharp left hooks and keeping Morrison at bay with his jab. Then came round 6. Ruddock hurt Morrison with a quick combination. It looked like trouble, but Tommy answered with a massive counter hook that sent Ruddock to the canvas. Ruddock got up. TKO. Morrison had won. After Ruddock, Morrison was set to fight former undisputed champion Riddick Bowe for the WBO title. But Bowe pulled out, chasing a bigger payday against Evander Holyfield. Not long after, the fight everyone had been waiting for finally came together. Tommy Morrison versus Lennox Lewis in Atlantic City, fall of 1995. Morrison was defending the IBC belt he had won from Ruddock. Both men had lost world championships, but this fight was about reclaiming respect. The first round was cautious. Neither man threw their full power, feeling each other out. From round 2, Lewis took control. His signature left jab kept Morrison on the defensive. Morrison tried, but Lewis was precise, patient, and powerful. In the 6th round, it was over. Morrison was knocked out. In February 1996, everything changed for Tommy Morrison. Hours before a scheduled fight against Arthur Weathers, the Nevada Athletic Commission revealed he had tested positive for HIV. Morrison was immediately suspended from boxing in Nevada. A few days later, his own doctor confirmed the result. At a news conference on February 15, 1996, Tommy faced the cameras. He admitted he had contracted HIV because of a reckless lifestyle. He told the world he would absolutely never fight again. But Morrison's heart didn't let him stay away. On September 19, 1996, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, he announced he wanted to fight one last time. All proceeds would benefit his Knockout AIDS Foundation. A spokesman warned it probably wouldn't be allowed in Oklahoma because of his Nevada suspension. Then George Foreman extended an invitation. In November 1996, Tommy traveled to Japan. He was allowed to fight there because Japan didn't prohibit HIV-positive boxers. The fight came with a safety rule: stop if he got cut. Tommy faced Marcus Rode and ended the bout in less than 2 minutes of the first round, winning by TKO. After a decade away from the ring, Tommy returned in 2007, having tested negative for HIV multiple times that year. Medical clearances in Texas and West Virginia allowed him to fight again. In February, he faced John Castle and scored a second-round TKO with his signature left hook. Later that year, Morrison faced undefeated Matt Weishaupt in Leon, Mexico. The fight showed his age and ring rust, but Tommy's power remained. A hard left hook and right cross ended the fight with a TKO. After that, Morrison passed additional medical tests in Texas. In January 2011, the Quebec Boxing Commission required a supervised HIV test before a fight with Eric Barrick. Morrison invited them to a public test, but the commission never came. He said he would take the dog and pony show somewhere else. By August 2011, Tommy Morrison confirmed it. He was retired for good. He reflected on a career filled with highs and lows, triumphs and battles both inside and outside the ring. A fighter's journey, unlike any other. After making a comeback in boxing, Tommy Morrison announced he would step into the world of MMA. He didn't intend to make a career out of it, but he became one of the few former heavyweight champions, alongside Ray Mercer, to find any success in the cage. Morrison also claimed that his HIV tests were false positives. He tested negative 4 times in January 2007. Despite controversy and confusion, he maintained that the original 1996 test results could not be fully verified. His widow, Tricia, later filed a lawsuit against the Nevada State Athletic Commission and Quest Diagnostics over the 1996 tests. Records from his rehab intake suggested Morrison may have known about his HIV diagnosis as early as 1989, but kept it hidden until the positive test in 1996 ended his boxing career. Tommy Morrison's life outside the ring was often turbulent. In December 1993, he was charged with assault and public intoxication after allegedly punching a University of Iowa student. Tommy claimed the student had been staring at him. He pleaded guilty, paid a $310 fine, but always maintained his innocence. In October 1996, he pleaded guilty to transporting a loaded firearm in Jay, Oklahoma. He received a 6-month suspended sentence and a $100 fine. In 1997, an Oklahoma jury convicted him of DUI after an accident that left 3 people injured. The court ordered him to attend treatment. Trouble continued. In September 1999, he got a 2-year suspended sentence for a felony-level DUI. On September 16, 1999, police stopped him for erratic driving and found drugs and weapons in his car. While awaiting trial, he was arrested again in November 1999 for intoxication and weapon possession as a felon. On January 14, 2000, Morrison was sentenced to 2 years in prison for the September charges. On April 3, 2002, he received another year for violating parole, though he got credit for time already served. Years later, his health declined. In August 2013, his mother Diana said Tommy had full-blown AIDS and had been bedridden for over a year. His wife, Tricia, reportedly did not believe he had AIDS. On September 1, 2013, Tommy Morrison passed away at the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha at just 44 years old. The official cause of death was cardiac arrest from multi-organ failure, triggered by septic shock from a Pseudomonas aeruginosa infection. The boxing world remembered him for his fearsome punching power, especially his left hook. The World Boxing Organization said he brought so much excitement and energy to the heavyweight division in the 1990s.